What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Xenny Chop. I'm back with another video, man. If you're new to my channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like the video. I would appreciate it. Today we got why no rapper attended Big Stretch funeral. So without further ado, let's get straight to this video, man.
And did Tupac go to Stretch's funeral? No. Once I lost my brother, man, it was like I'm just like with everybody. And you're like Stretch and Pac was like this. Where did it go left? How did that relationship break down? After the quad shooting.
And the reason I knew my homeboys set me up is because my homeboys knew I was strapped. The dudes came straight for me. My homeboys is behind. It's like they running for the swag. My homeboys behind, and they didn't do nothing. They just was grabbing, and I could have bust. But they got guns, so these niggas are coming for me, and these just sitting there. And they said get, and they just dropped to the floor. I knew it was a setup.
On November 30th, 1994, Tupac was shot at Quad Studios in a moment that changed hip-hop forever. Exactly 1 year later, on the same day in 1995, Stretch, one of Tupac's closest friends, was off in his hometown after being chased down and shot by two perpetrators in a car.
Walker, known as Stretch, was a member of the group Live Squad. Walker was only about 3 blocks away from his home right here. He didn't make it, and his family doesn't know why.
Was this a coincidence, or was this a revenge hit connected to Tupac? Well, that question seemed to be answered when neither Tupac nor other big-name rappers showed up to Stretch's funeral.
I'm like, my mom's like, yo, is Pop coming to the funeral? Is Big calling? Like, yo, it's real, man. Big, you know what I'm saying? And Big ain't come to the funeral.
Stretch ain't have nothing to do with what happened to you in a Quad studio. That was your man. You could have showed up at his funeral. You should have showed up and just paid your respects. Or even if you wasn't coming, you could have sent something.
The reality was that nobody wanted to be associated with Stretch after his death because his name had become too controversial. There were rumors that Stretch might have been involved in Tupac's shooting at Quad Studios. Some even claimed he was caught talking disrespectfully about Tupac, saying Tupac shot himself during the incident. Showing up at his funeral could have painted you as an enemy of Tupac.
It's an audio, man. It's an audio that's been online for a few years now, a Stretch. And, you know, he talking a little spicy about Pac, man, getting shot at Quad.
I must give him a chance to tell the world what he did to his mother.
So they try to say he shot himself?
You hear that, man? You hear the hate and disdain in his voice, yo?
On the flip side, if you were part of the East Coast scene or aligned with Biggie's crew, who were rumored to have ties to Tupac's shooting, attending Stretch's funeral might have raised suspicions about where your loyalties lay. It was a no-win situation, and being tied to Stretch became a dangerous game. But was Stretch really connected to Tupac's shooting? Let's dig deeper. Stretch and Tupac weren't just friends. They were practically brothers. The two collaborated on several tracks together and their bond seemed unshakable. But everything changed after that fateful day in 1994 when Tupac was shot at Quad Studios. From that point on, their relationship soured, and it became clear that Tupac believed Stretch had some kind of involvement in the shooting.
And you're like Stretch and Pac was like this. Where did it go left? How did that relationship break down? After the quad shooting.
Why did Tupac think this? A big reason was that Stretch had connections to the people allegedly behind the incident. Being from Queens, Stretch was familiar with Haitian Jack and Jimmy Henchman, two notorious figures in the New York underworld. On the night of the shooting, Stretch was right there with Tupac when everything went down. But what didn't sit right with Tupac was the fact that he was the only one targeted. Stretch, a towering figure at 6'8", and the reason for his nickname, should have logically been the biggest threat to the gunmen. Yet, they didn't even try to touch him. This raised red flags for Tupac. In an interview with Vibe magazine, Tupac shared his confusion and suspicion, saying, "I was like, what should I do? I'm thinking Stretch is going to fight. He was towering over those From what I know about the criminal element, if come to rob you, they always hit the big first. But they didn't touch Stretch. They came straight to me. Everybody dropped to the floor like potatoes, but I just froze up. It wasn't like I was being brave or nothing. I just could not get on the floor." Pac also said this.
And the reason I knew my homeboys set me up is because my homeboys knew I was strapped. The dudes came straight for me. My homeboys is behind. It's like they running for the swag. My homeboys behind, and they didn't do nothing. They just was grabbing, and I could have bust. But they got guns, so these niggas are coming for me, and these niggas just sitting there. And they say get, and they just drop to the floor. I knew it was a setup.
The situation situation became even more questionable when Stretch passed on messages to Tupac from Jimmy Henchman while Tupac was recovering from the shooting. That's when Tupac's suspicions solidified. He started believing Stretch might have played a role in setting him up.
When he came and said, Jimmy Henchman, I remember like yesterday, Jimmy Henchman said, you don't want to go to war because you don't got your money right. And I'm looking like him, I'm the only one that said, how do a friend bring this message to a friend? Like, you know what I mean? So that felt awkward to me. Like,
adding to the suspicion, Tupac had been brought to Quad Studios under the pretense of working with Little Sean, an artist managed by none other than Jimmy Henchman. Jimmy was well known as both a music manager and a feared gangster, someone who had influence both in the industry and on the streets. Tupac later opened up about why he even went to Quad Studios that night, and it's clear he had reservations from the start. He admitted that he was suspicious of Jimmy Henchman, saying, I met him through some rough characters I knew. He was trying to get legitimate and all that, so I thought I was doing...
The lines between us, it's just lines. You see us, we were made from the same stuff.
Characters I knew. He was trying to get legitimate and all that, so I thought I was doing him a favor. But when I called him back for directions, he was like, I don't have the money. So I said, if you don't have the money, I'm not coming. Normally, Tupac wasn't the type to charge people he felt he was helping, especially other black artists. He had a strong desire to uplift his people and help them get ahead in life. But this time, he decided to charge Henchman because he felt something was off. Pac continued. He hung up the phone and then called me back saying, I'm going to call Andre Harrell to make sure you get the money, but I'm going to give you the money out of my pocket. So I said, all right, I'm on my way. Tupac recalled that as they approached the studio, someone called down from above. It was Lil Cease, one of Biggie's close friends. Pac said, that's my homeboy. As soon as I saw him, all my concerns about the situation were relaxed. But looking back, it's clear that Tupac had been lured there under false pretenses. He was the target, and whoever planned this knew exactly where he was going to be.
It's December 1st, 1994. The rare, raw footage of Tupac Shakur in a wheelchair the morning after he was shot.
The incident was initially classed as a robbery, but things didn't add up. Haitian Jack, someone Tupac had publicly disrespected in a Daily News article, hinted that the attack was about revenge. Pac had referred to Jack as a hanger-on. This was a bold move, especially in New York, where Jack and his associates were considered to have significant street influence. In an interview with Ice-T, Jack claimed that one of his associates decided Tupac needed to be disciplined. However,
if y'all new to the channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like the video. I'll appreciate it. I'll see you guys on the next video, man. Peace.